Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. November 12th, 2024. Again, it's been a while since I did anything. Things are greened up. We got about a little over an inch here this weekend, Sunday. I mean, that makes us, about 5 inches for the summer. Feeling a little like North Dakota. Well, we didn't get any thunderstorms to go along with it. Just a thought crossed my mind. I'm standing out here. Of course, I talked about Jasper got demoted to chicken guardian, and he's working out really well, and he just doesn't use up the energy that he should use. We'll have to work on some things. We get in there every night and play with him, but that's about as good as it gets. Got some of our fine pets up there on top of the hill. Bow season's in full swing around here. I was waiting to see if there was a buck, but it looks like all does. This is the first year in my 43 years on this earth that I saw a deer, a buck mount a doe. The rut is obviously in full swing at this point. I think that is a little spike buck or something up there. I've never seen it like it is this year. I don't know what it is, whether it's a drought or what, but just bucks chasing does. I've never seen it in broad daylight and open along the roads and running in front of us. And Ethan and I had three bucks run in front of us the other day, and looked in the yard they were running into, and there was a buck mounted on a doe. So just never witnessed it. I've seen it in movies and shows like that, but never knew that. I knew it happened, but I didn't know it was happening like that. Like I said, I don't know whether it's drought or what, but it's just kind of interesting. I mean, all we see is does all summer, and then shoot, I've probably seen 10, 15, 20 bucks in the last week. They've all come out of who knows where to get here. Jasper's barking at the sheep moving. I guess the reason I pulled the camera up today was to look at this. This was, of course, the field we bale grazed. I can still see a couple of bale scars here if I look really hard. Because of the drought, I planted it came up, but then it all died for like a second. And that stuff's still there. I can see a lot of plantain and things there. The seed's still there. It'll come back next year. I'll probably run across it and seed it again just to be sure. And for sure, we'll bale graze that field. I'm trying to think about how to bale graze the sheep across portions of this anyway. Probably with electric woven wire, because I don't think they'll respect polywire to stay out of the next set of bales. But that's kind of the plan. I guess I pulled up just to have a thought about the differences. We wrestle with things and how we change and how we do and how we move forward, and agriculture in general, the farmers that I work with every day. And I guess sometimes we just misunderstand how hard it is to change, I guess. I'm one of those weird folks. I don't know that there's many like me in agriculture, that I'm always doing something different. In fact, I think it's to my detriment that I never stick with anything long enough to really see the complete benefit of it. I look at the short term, and if there's no short term benefit, then I move on to something else, or if I think something else is going to have a better short term benefit, I go with that, because I guess I figure that if it's got great short-term benefits, or it's going to have great long-term benefits in agriculture. And bale grazing is no exception to that. If you can see, that field's kind of stripped because we spread liquid hog manure on it. But I was talking to Dad about what we're going to do this winter, and we still got cows on a sacrifice slot, calves on a sacrifice slot, sheep on a sacrifice slot, but we're letting this grass grow until we get it below 25 to 22 for 4 hours, and we know the growth is going to slow completely down, and we're going to get a heck of a freeze tonight, and this may be it. I don't know. It might be the last night, but we are going to bale graze. And I was going over decisions and what we're going to do, and Dad said, well, when we bale graze the steers over here, and then we'll feed the cows over here. And it's like, no, that's not what I'm doing. That is a buck. We're gonna bale graze everything. The minute the bull can go out, everybody goes together and they all graze, with the exception of the sheep. And he was kind of taken aback by that. And then he thought about it, and oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess that's true. But we just get so buried in what we've done and what we've always done and what worked well enough, but we never think about what might work better. And grazing in any way, management intensive grazing in any way, is no different. We get so buried in the minutiae of life, and we continue to do the things that we did and we did and we did and we did. If you always do what you always got, you always get what you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got, I guess. And I try to always do something different, but bale grazing worked. As long as we don't get a ton of rain, bale grazing will work and carry us through, and it's a damn sight better than taking a tractor out there and unrolling hay every day, no matter the effects. So we just got to learn to give things a try and change in how we do things. I set up and work with so many grazers and on grazing things, and then they get boned up somewhere in the installation, and it's like, well, we planned this for a reason. One of my biggest examples, I guess, is we put in water systems all the time, and I usually plan it with a frost-free water in every field, and 9 times out of 10 I catch hell for it. They don't get done that way, and I say, why? Well, we don't need them. We're not going to be out there in the winter. We'll be in here feeding hay on this brand new heavy use pad we're building. Well, what about sacrifice lot? And trust me when I tell you, you're going to be real tired of hauling manure about that first winter, and you're going to wish you'd put these frost-free troughs in, because if we get a frozen winter or a dry winter, you would rather feed out there in the field and let them spread it rather than you spread it. But no, we've always fed in this field, and now we got a heavy use pad, and things are going to be better, and we're just going to continue to do it. And like I said, my dad's no exception to that. It's, oh, well, we use the bale grazing for the steers and that works, so we'll just keep doing that. No, we're going to continue, and we're going to make this better. We're going to do more things. I don't know. It's just so hard. And we had I know I mentioned this before, the sort of quote from Jim Garrish, what was he most surprised about in his 40 years of grazing? And it was the fact that it didn't get adopted at the rate he thought it would. He thought by now we'd all be doing it. And still only 10% or so adoption of management intensive grazing principles. I don't know how we do it any better. I don't know how we do it anymore. I don't know dollars and cents. I mean, and I'm an example, I guess. We raise hogs because I like to raise hogs, and they break even, and some years they don't, and some years I'm okay with that. Some years I'm like, well, if we had to put $2,000 in the pot to keep hogs, I get $2,000 worth of enjoyment out of it. But I can also always say that I got at least $4,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 worth of fertility out of those hogs. So there's a different sort of count there. But to quote, I think it was Joel Salatin said, if I'm going to do something, I'd rather do something for something than something for nothing. And so many times in agriculture, we're doing something for nothing. And why are we okay with that? Why are we not getting better? I get so tired of hearing, I don't want this to sound negative, I get so tired of hearing we're leaving it better than we found it. I don't know that we're actually doing that in lots and lots and lots of cases. I don't know that we are. I mean, to take that one step further, I saw a meme the other day about cover crops are only profitable when they're government funded. No, that's bullshit. I know plenty of farmers around here that grow cover crops, and once they grow cover crops, they never want to go back. They never want to do anything else. But I also know those same guys, they get busy in the fall one year and they don't plant cover crops, and then they never come back to them ever again. And they got no reason for why. They didn't come back to it one year and they got along the next year without it, and so they just don't do it anymore. And we gotta get away from that. We gotta get to a point where we're doing something better, and we're always trying something better, and we're trying to be better than we were the last time. We're only in competition with ourselves. We're the only comparison we got of each other, and we need to be doing better with ourselves every year, gaining ground, changing things, making things better. And if things don't work, that's fine. They don't work. Go back. If you study it hard and you know it's going to make a difference, then try it. And if it doesn't do any better than what you did before, then that's fine. But if it does better, then boy, we found a better way to do things. And, to take that even one step further, we're down to the lowest cow herd we've ever been. And I don't know that we're going to get any bigger. I don't know that I'm going to go back and save those heifers, because at this point, with that number, I can graze a whole lot more stockpile grass. I can probably get close to grazing through the entire winter. And at that point, I might as well stick there. I got to look at the way things are, and the way things are is Dad's 73 years old. He's not going to be around forever. And when he's not around, I'm not going to be able to carry on a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of things I'm going to have to say, well, I can't do that anymore. I don't have the time. And making hay is going to have to be one of them. Grinding feed is going to be probably another one. We're just going to have to make do with what we're having, and I know we can get by. Everybody wants to have all the cows and wear the big hat, but if I can sell 18 fat steers versus 18 fat steers and 6 feeder calves, I bet you I still was as profitable on the 18 fat steers as I was on the 18 fat steers and 12 or whatever little calves. That's just the way it is. The feeder calves are just going to break even. It's the way it goes. So anyway, not trying to be negative. I just think we all need to look at what we did. I mean, we're getting to the end of the grazing season for everyone. It's time to look back and reflect on what did we do right, what did we do wrong, and what can we do better next year. And as we're looking into making hay feeding decision, winter hay feeding decisions, it's time to start thinking, how can we do this better and not get ourselves in the mess we were in a year ago. With that, I'll say we'll see you next time.